All right, everyone. Welcome to Sprouting Season. Today we're going to be making a chicken and pesto dish. It's a 30-minute meal, and my husband is grating some Parmesan cheese, but we'll let you know what all the ingredients are. You're going to need basil, of course, a large bunch of basil, some lemon, Parmesan cheese, of course, pine nuts, and we're going to roast those pine nuts. Anyway, the reason that we are making this new dish is because we're changing our diet once again, right?
Yep.
Because I got really sick not too long ago. My sugar levels were so high, I ended up at the emergency room twice. So anyway, we're going to try this new dish and we will let you know how it tastes. All right, so we're going to roast these pine nuts. Make sure your heat is high enough. And also, this is like supposed to be a keto meal. So that's what we've been doing. And y'all, I have lost 6 pounds in 2 weeks after my incident. So that's why we've just completely made the change to more protein, less carbs to no carbs. Of course, I miss the things that I love, like, tortillas and, corn, stuff like that, corn tortillas. What else? Regular flour, I mean, that's wheat. And so we've learned to stay away from that because it's got carbohydrates or turns into sugar, So it's not just the sugar, it's the carbs. So we're going to try the best we can on this new diet and see how it goes. But I don't think this is quite hot enough, but hopefully you'll stay on this journey with us and see, how it goes. If you're interested in maybe, eating a little healthier. I mean, we had already changed to organic, but we got to change a little bit more, Keep going. But I feel so much better, y'all. I feel better. I've lost, even I had swollen ankles and feet, and it seems like that's going away. So anyway, so right here we have looks like a chicken breast and some chicken thighs, and I think you only need about 4 to 6 chicken, whatever. I think the recipe asks for chicken thighs, but you can use whatever you like. So the pine nuts are going to be in the pesto sauce, okay? But we need to roast them first. And then we're going to grind it up with some basil, garlic, lemon juice, olive oil, some salt, okay? So cut up your chicken into just small pieces, cube-sized pieces. Of course, rinse your chicken. We already got the Parmesan cheese over there shredded. All right, so we're going to add also broccoli in the dish and these small little tomatoes. What are these called? They're just cherry tomatoes, I believe. And it's all going to be one healthy dish. no pasta, okay? Because I really got to stay away, or we have to stay away from the pasta. My husband's joined me on this journey, and you know, we're both on this on board together. All right, so the pine nuts have toasted and they're brown. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the heat here. And you don't need oil to do it. Just put them in a pan and toast them. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take my pine nuts and we're going to dump them into our processor here. Okay, because they're going to be blended up. And all the chicken is cut up, and we're going to be frying that up.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and season our chicken up. So we're going to go ahead and combine all this together, and I'll read off what you need. So we're looking at 1 tablespoon of chili powder, 1.5 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, a 1/2 teaspoon of paprika, a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, and a 1/4 teaspoon of oregano. So that's what's going on the chicken before we put it in the pan and start frying it.
That's the chili powder, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that is cumin.
There.
That's the salt.
Yeah. I'm going to go in with some black pepper. About a teaspoon of that. And then it says, looks like paprika. We're going to go with a 1/4 of a teaspoon.
Quarter teaspoon of onion powder.
And a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. And a 1/4 teaspoon of oregano. And that's it.
All right, I'm going to add some avocado oil to the pan. You can use olive oil if you prefer. And we'll put our chicken in there. So we're going to add the chicken to the seasoning and mix it all up in the bowl. And just stir it really well and get it all in there, coated in there with the chicken. It'll give it a nice color. The pan's nice and hot. What is this? And usually when, we cook chicken, we just leave it alone until it turns brown and then we stir. That way we get that nice brown crust. Okay, so while the chicken is cooking, we're going to go ahead and get the veggies ready and rinse the broccoli, and we're gonna cut it up. You need about 1 head of fresh broccoli. And I'm sure you can use frozen as well, but we went with the one at the produce section, fresh. So rinse the cherry tomatoes as well. So we got the basil from the, the refrigerated section. We got these from Walmart actually, and they're organic. So we're gonna go ahead and put those in the blender here. All right, so the chicken, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a stir. It's been cooking here for a little while. Just turn it over. And see what a pretty color that is. Alright, so my husband is cutting up the garlic, or peeling the garlic, and the recipe asks for 1 to 2 cloves, but we're gonna go ahead and add a little bit more because we got double batch over here of basil leaves, so we want to make sure we have enough.
So we're going to throw the cloves in that I just peeled, so that'll go into the pesto as well. Go ahead and add in.
And these are already
basil.
rinsed. Yeah, we got 2 bundles. It asks for a large bundle, but we want to make sure we have enough. If we have any left over, it's fine. We can use it on something else.
So we're going to go ahead and add 6 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil as well. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. Doesn't have to be exact.
And I believe, to get your desired consistency, you can add a little more, if it's not maybe too wet, you can add a little more olive oil.
And then we're going to add a whole lemon to it.
Because it asks for half a lemon, right? But since we're making more, we're just kind of doubling everything up.
Just squeeze that in there. I believe you can even add some cheese to it if you like.
And also salt.
Yeah, we're gonna. You want to keep the heat on this because if you don't, it's just going to sit there and steam and simmer. You got to keep the fire on it to get all that juice out. So it would actually start crusting up on the chicken. It'll never crust up if it's on a low heat. We're going to go ahead and add a tablespoon of Italian seasoning. It's a mixed herb, just oregano, margarine, it's got fennel, a couple of other things in there. You can use whatever you like though. We're going to go ahead and add a teaspoon of salt. there. Throw that in there. And we're ready to blend it up.
Put it on high. Look at those nice, pretty colored vegetables.
So we're gonna go ahead and start sauteing our broccoli and tomato now. So we'll put that in on a little high heat and just get it sauteed a little bit, and then we're gonna cut the heat back on it. Okay, we got our pan hot. We're gonna go ahead and add about a tablespoon of avocado oil in there, and we'll go ahead and toss the veggies in. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and add our vegetables in now, and we're just going to saute this up a little bit, just get it all nice and hot, and then we'll cut it back.
You gotta turn the heat up too.
This is coming out now it's going to start cooking.
I see some of the liquids evaporating in there. And this is starting to get really hot. We want to turn it down a little bit. Looks like the chicken's almost done.
Alright, so once we get this chicken the way we want it, we're going to go ahead and add a 1/4 cup of chicken broth to the juices and scrape the pan to get all those bits out, and then we're going to take that and pour it over our broccoli and tomatoes. Alright, so our chicken's done. This is what we're looking for right here with those little burnt bits. That's what we're going to get up with our chicken broth. So we're going to go ahead and add this now. Just like that. And we'll go ahead and add our 1/4 cup of chicken broth in there. And then we're just going to work it around until we get all those bits out. That's all flavor.
And that's going to steam the vegetable and chicken mixture?
Yeah. So now we're going to go ahead and add it in. Just like that. And then we're going to go ahead and give it a stir and then put the lid on it.
And wait for the veggies to get soft?
Yeah.
And steamed, and
then we'll add the pesto and Parmesan cheese. I'll give a little bite to it.
yeah, the broccoli has to be soft before we add the pesto sauce. But it's getting there. And the tomatoes are getting soft too.
Okay, so we let it steam a little bit. We don't want the broccoli mushy, so we want it kind of with a bite still, a little bit of crisp to it. And now we're going to go ahead and add our pesto to it that we mixed earlier.
Yeah, and we decided to go with fresh because we looked at some of the ingredients and the pesto sauces at the store, and we're like, no thank you.
And we'll just go ahead and mix it all together.
it smells so fresh. The herbs.
It's very aromatic.
Yes. It's the basil. And then the pine nuts as well. We got some more in here. Can't let any go to waste.
All right, we're gonna let this cook a little bit more to heat that pesto up. And then we'll add our Parmesan cheese to it. All right, we got the pesto nice and warm now. And we are gonna go ahead and add our Parmesan cheese in there.
And how much is that? Just to your liking?
Yeah, it's cheese. I mean, just add what you like. We like a lot of cheese, so.
Yeah, and again, the vegetables, they're to your liking, the desired consistency that you like, and they don't have to be extra soft. If you like them more crisp, then
Yeah. And we're just gonna let this go until the cheese starts melting and it's ready.
good.
Okay, guys, so this is where we're at now. This was after, maybe 10 minutes. Just let it melt in there, and we're gonna go ahead and serve it.
Looks delicious. And I can be the taste tester, unless you want to.
This is, high protein, somewhat low carb, but a healthy carb and no sugar. So.
All right, I'm gonna taste this, y'all. This is so good. You have to make this. It's amazing. So, it's a keeper. So thanks y'all for watching. And come back and see us again on the next video. And we'll try and, think up of other recipes. They're all going to be healthy recipes. So join us. All right, guys, be blessed.